I don't believe you can be a very, very good strategic thinker if you don't understand the tactics.
And that's the non-glamorous, non-sexy side of entrepreneurship that we don't see a lot, but is super, 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 super duper important.
I don't read books, I use books. It's all about taking ideas, taking information, convert it into knowledge.
Rise and shine, it's Entspresso time. Hey Believe Nation, I am not a morning person, but when you start your day with a powerful routine that inspires you, like watching one of these videos, it will change your life. So let's start your day off right together. Grab your coffee, know that I believe in you, and get ready for a shot of Entspresso from Dan Lok.
I wake up every morning.
Espresso keep me going.
I wake up every morning.
So first of all, here's what you don't want to do. There's some people, and I've seen this with entrepreneurs, also with consultants, that they are very, very good with tactics, that they are very good with like the nitty-gritty details, but yet they don't see the big picture. On the other hand, I also see people that they only think strategically, but they don't understand the tactical, what it takes to get it done, to execute. The way that I did it personally is I focus on tactics first, because I don't believe you can be a very, very good strategic thinker if you don't understand the tactics, right? You don't understand the day-to-day and what it takes to execute that strategy, because if you don't know, all you have is a crazy wild guess of what the strategy is, and you don't know if it works or not. So I'll give you a perfect example. Let's say you run a restaurant and you just focus on strategies, big picture. You know what, this is what the restaurant should look like, and this is the decor, and this is going to be the menu, and this is the color that we want. That's all kind of strategic strategy thing, and we're going to open up, you know, how we open up second and third location and fifth location, and we're going to franchise this, and all this stuff is good. Right? That's strategy, and that's critical, that's important. But tactically is, how do we make good food? How do we make sure the ingredients are fresh? How do we make sure that we get repeat customers? How do we make sure that the waiter and the waitress in the trenches with the customer service, how do we ensure that they actually provide a great experience for the guests? And how do we make sure that they are happy as well? They're earning good money, earning good tips. See, that's tactic. How do you make sure the table is clean? That's tactic, strategy and tactic, and you need both to have a successful business.
Spend 5% of your time planning, strategizing, thinking, and 95% of your time doing, executing, tactics. I call it the 5-95 rule. 5% of your time thinking, planning, strategizing, and 95% of your time actually doing. This is where a lot of entrepreneurs get held up, because we're dreamers. We want to change the world. We've got this big mission, this big vision. We've got all these amazing giant plans, and it's so much fun to sit and think and plan and watch videos and draft up what our perfect company, our perfect life, the perfect world's gonna look like. It's a ton of fun. Anytime you get entrepreneurs together and you start dreaming about the future, tell me about where you wanna go, what you wanna build. Those are really fun, easy exercises for us. We love staying there. The problem is none of that stuff actually happens until you do something. Right? The perfect world you want to make, the perfect life you want to build, none of that happens until you actually start doing it. Think about working out as an example, right? You could research all the exercises, you could think about the beautiful life you're going to have when you have your six-pack abs, but nothing counts until you actually start working out, until you start running and doing your push-ups and doing your sit-ups and your squats and all of that stuff. 5% of your time should be picking the plan, strategizing the plan, and 95% of the time actually doing. If you look at what I do, you know, look at the work that I do, look at the videos that I make. What am I doing right now? This is making, I'm doing, I'm creating, I'm doing my 95, right? Most of the time, as much as I'm a strategic thinker and I want to solve the world's biggest problem and I want people to believe in themselves more, and that's why I wake up and that's what I do and that's my mission, and I'm trying every day to try to solve it in a bigger way. Most of what I do is I'm massively productive. When I've hung out with entrepreneurs or the entrepreneurs that I've invested into, they're shocked at how much work I'm doing during the day, how much productivity I have during the day. And it's not that I'm special, that I have more drive or anything else. It's just a choice to focus on the doing. You're focusing on the doing, where most people are stuck focusing on the, should I do this or should I do that, and procrastinate, and how about this idea, and oh, I don't know, I'm gonna try this, and you're just constantly stopping. You're in the stopping business. It's start and stop and start and stop and start and stop. Where for me and for successful entrepreneurs, it's the doing, but it's the going business. So let me give you some practical tips to actually start doing this, okay? 1, you create your plan. You create your life plan. You have your vision. You have your mission. You figure out what you want to do, right? Whether built to serve is the answer, or we go through the who, why, how process, whether you're using a different structure, awesome, but you have your plan, great. Next, it's just daily reminding yourself. This is one of the biggest hacks for me. It's just reminding myself why I'm doing what I'm doing and looking at my calendar. So when I wake up, the first thing I do after I go to the bathroom is I look at my calendar. I look at my calendar. What am I doing today? What's on my calendar today? So I'm filming this on my YouTube day. Today, I'm filming it on a Tuesday. I don't know when this video will go live, but I film it on a Tuesday. It's my YouTube day. And I look at my calendar and I say, okay, here's my ambition. I want to solve the world's biggest problem. I want to help people believe in themselves more. How am I going to do that today? Today, I'm filming videos. So Nina's going to go do some errands. I'm sitting here at a Costco. Can you guys see it? Costco. There's the Costco. Sitting here at a Costco. Nina's inside doing her errands. I am filming content. I'm going to spend the morning filming content. I'm then going to go home and I'm going to look at all of the channels. We've got, I don't know, 20 channels, something like that. I'm going to go look at all the channels and I'm going to create more content for those channels. And I'm going to connect with the team to see how we're doing. And then I have a mastermind at 5 o'clock, marketing mastermind. And so I look at my calendar, I'm not thinking about my day anymore. I'm not restructuring my day anymore. I'm not sitting, how do I have a great day today? And spend an hour every day doing that. I'm just executing my calendar. I look at the calendar in the morning. I set my intention, and on my phone, the screen background on my phone says, remember your intention. What's my intention today? My intention today is to focus on my YouTube channels, to make amazing content to help entrepreneurs believe in themselves more. That's all I'm focused on today. I get some other idea. For the most part, I'm just going to email myself, and I have a different day of the week to focus on those other ideas. But today, I'm in execution mode. I need to make content for the channel, and having one day per week just to focus on YouTube content, I find actually really helpful, because I know I have to be productive. When you feel like you have infinite time, guess what happens? You let the time just expand. When you're on a deadline, think about most of us when we are studying for exams back in university or school, you'd wait, maybe not all the way up to the last minute. Some of you are last minute crammers, but you'd wait till the 1 or 2 weeks before to really get all the cramming in, because there's a deadline. For too many of us, there's no deadline. When's the deadline on your dreams? When's the deadline to make your content? When's the deadline to actually execute things? For most of us, there's no deadline. You don't have a deadline. And so because you don't have the deadline, you allow yourself to procrastinate and to tinker and to make things perfect and to never release, because there's no deadline. It doesn't matter enough. When I'm making videos, I have to make a certain number of videos every week for my channels. And there's a deadline. I have to get them done today. They have to get done today, because tomorrow I'm doing something else, and the next day I'm doing something else, and I'm not touching my YouTube content again until next Tuesday. So if I don't get it done today, then my team doesn't have content to go off and create for the channels, and then I'm disappointing you. And it's been, 7 or 8 years since we have not uploaded a video on one of our channels. Years. It's been years. Years of consistency. And that's how you start to build the machine, because there's a deadline, because it matters, because it's important today. So you set the intention. What's my intention for today? You look at your calendar. And then you just start living what's in your calendar. Stop judging a calendar, stop second guessing a calendar, stop trying to reorganize your calendar on the day of. You can tweak it for the next week, but today you said you're gonna do these things, go do these things. Super important, right? How many times you have something in your calendar and you let yourself off the hook and say, whatever, that's not important anymore. No, you said you're gonna do it, you do it. Stop judging, it's the 595 rule. 5% was creating the calendar, you made that already. Now you gotta go do it. 95% is just execute what's in your calendar today, right? 2 is having deadlines for things. So different things on different days of the week, I find super helpful to be able to do it. And then 3, I would have some kind of routine where once a month you sit back and you look at your calendar and you say, does this still serve me? Like now get back into the planning mode. The planning mode is your once a month deep dive to actually create your calendar. Does this still serve me? Does this still help me? Does making YouTube videos still help me with my mission? Am I still having fun doing it? But the trick is I'm only spending 5% of my time thinking like that. And then 95% of my time just doing everything. And so I think we easily get lost in the vision. We easily get lost in the dreaming. It's the sexy stuff. It's the fun stuff. It's the kind of videos that you want to watch. You want to watch other people dreaming and doing big things and planning and strategizing, and those are the easy things. It'd be really boring. If you were to watch my life, most of it would be pretty boring. It's not a great vlog because I'm just in my office working. Just working. Do more work. I said I was going to do these things, go work. And that's the non-glamorous, non-sexy side of entrepreneurship that we don't see a lot, but is super, 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 super duper important. So if you want to hit your goals, you want to achieve your dreams, you want to actually start making momentum, like if that matters to you, that this week, this month, this year, things have to change. That we don't want to stay stuck here, that you don't want to be in the same spot a year from today, a month from today, heck, even a week from today. We don't want to stay stuck. You don't want to be in the same spot. You don't want to be having the same thoughts to say, I wish I could be further ahead. I should be doing something else. Like to have the frustration with yourself, your life, your lack of momentum. If you don't want to be stuck in the same spot 1 week, 1 month, 1 year from today, the difference is not going to be different strategies that you come up with. You're super smart. You're a smart person. And you're doing this for the right reasons. You've got heart, you want to serve, you want to make a difference, you want to feel like what you do matters. The only tweak you have to make is switching the time you're spending thinking and pondering and in fear and strategizing and moving it to just doing, to just executing, to doing one more. So that's a challenge for today. Look at your calendar for the rest of the today, for the rest of next week. 595. 5% of your time planning, thinking, strategizing, and 95% of your time doing. That will make the difference. Now I've got a special bonus clip that I think you're gonna enjoy, but before that, it's time for the question of the day. I wanna know, what was your single biggest takeaway from this video, and what is your plan of action for the next week? The science says that when you just watch a video, you get motivated, you get inspired, you have a 35% chance of actually doing something and following through. That, Believe Nation, is not enough. 35% is not enough. We gotta do something. But when you get inspired by watching a video like this, and then you create a plan of action, your chances of following through jump to 91%. And when you commit publicly, like putting your comment down below with your plan, it jumps to 95%. That's what I want for you. I want you to take action. Your dreams are too important. Your life matters. Your mission has to happen. So, question of the day, your biggest takeaway from this video and your plan of action for the next week, put it down in the comments below, and I'm gonna celebrate alongside with you.
Hi, this is Dan Lok. I want to share with you a lesson from Evan Carmichael's new book, Built to Serve. This section is about making money from your purpose. You have to embrace that. If you never learn how to make money from your purpose, you'll always end up needing a day job, and your purpose will become a hobby. If that sounds like a great life to you, then I'm happy for you. If not, then you need to figure out a money-making model that makes sense, one that is consistent, one that is significant, one that can pay you so you can quit your job and succeed to the point where you are providing jobs for others and helping even more people. You see, money is nothing more than a byproduct of value creation. The more people that you serve, the more successful that you will be. So to have long-term success is not just built to last or built to sell or even built to scale. It is built to serve. And this book will teach you exactly how to do that. I believe the number one habit you need to develop to be successful is on a consistent, if not a daily basis, do things that make you feel uncomfortable. It is that simple. Because you look at what holds most people back. What holds you back is fear. Fear of the unknown, fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of success. All these things is all outside your comfort zone. Human being, because we're a creature of habits, we tend to operate day to day and do the same thing again and again and again. But if you have a habit, you make a habit that you do things on a consistent basis that you don't usually do, it makes you scared. It scares the out of you. It makes you stretch your comfort zone. That's how you gradually expand that and get more of what you want. Maybe it's going to that event that you've never been to. Maybe it's meeting that successful people that intimidates you. Maybe it's reading a book that you have no interest reading in. Maybe it's driving a different path that you usually go home this way. Hey, you know what? I'm going to drive a different path and see something a little bit different, right? Maybe it's watching a video that you don't usually watch. Maybe you're interested in certain topics. Maybe you're watching a YouTube video just on prank. But suddenly you watch something that is on inspiration and motivational, that's practical, that's business related. And that changes the way that you think about stuff. It started with that one thing, that one video. And if you do that, not one time, not two times, not three times, but hundreds and hundreds of times on a consistent basis, I believe that is the habit. Not just to be successful, but to stay successful. When you're constantly pushing yourself outside the comfort zone, guess what? You will learn. You will take new action. You will acquire new knowledge. You will meet new people, and that will lead to new opportunities. You might develop a new skill, right? You might start a new business. All these things that you do is nothing more than doing things that scares the shit out of you on a consistent basis. Instead of avoiding the fear, you are facing the fear and you are pushing and pushing and pushing a limit. That is the number one thing that you need, I strongly believe, to be successful. So develop the habit today. Do something that you don't usually do. Do something that scares you. Do something that makes you uncomfortable. If you were to ask me, take away everything I have, take away all the tools that I have in business, in sales, in marketing, everything I have, but you can leave me with one thing, what would I pick? Without hesitation, I would tell you, is thinking time. The ability to think. Because business is an intellectual sport. Creating wealth is an intellectual sport. Becoming successful is an intellectual sport. Not necessarily just how smart you are, but the ability to think. What is going on? Thinking time. Most people don't think enough. Henry Ford said it best. Thinking is the hardest work there is. That's why so few people engage in it. What do I mean by thinking? Does that mean you lock yourself in a room and just sit there and let whatever thoughts that come to mind and that's thinking? No. Let me teach you how to think. This is probably, to the right person watching this, it is the most valuable skill, the most valuable lesson that I could teach you. This is literally the one thing that has made me who I am today. The one thing that created Dan Lok. One thing, and that's thinking time. Here's how it works. The way you think is very simple. You get yourself in a quiet environment. Maybe you turn on some music, doesn't really matter. Thinking is nothing more than asking yourself profound and deep questions. That's what thinking is. I'll say it again. Thinking is nothing more than asking yourself deep and profound questions. When I say deep and profound, it means asking those questions that takes a little bit of time. You need to think about it, not a very surface level questions. Let me give you an example. If you ask yourself the question, why can't I make more money? That kind of quality of a question leads to poor answers, horrible answers. Because think about it. You ask your mind, well, why can't I make more money? What comes to mind? Well, because you suck, because you're no good, because you're not worthy, because nobody likes you, because nobody wants to buy your stuff. Nobody wants to do business with you. Or maybe you don't have enough experience. You don't have a track record. You don't have enough resources. You don't know the right people. All this, how does that help you in any way? A better question to ask maybe perhaps is, well, how can I make more money? But then that's also a very basic question. Basic question. But if you spend the time and you actually think about and sit down and dissect and you take the time to craft a very profound questions. So you could say, how can I make more money? How can you make that better? How can you make that question better? Okay, how about instead of being so vague and so general, instead of how can I make more money, how can I make more sales? There's a difference. If you run a business, how do I make more sales? Okay, how about let's make it even better? How can I make more sales without getting any new customers? That's interesting. You see how now you're thinking from a different perspective. How about this? Let me add one more layer. How can I add more sales? How can I make more sales without adding any new customers and without adding any new expense? Now you see how that's a high quality question. What you do is thinking time. You put yourself in a quiet space. You write that questions at the top. How can I make more sales without adding any new customers, without adding any new expense? And now you sit down and you got a pen, a piece of paper, and you answer that. You take your time. Oh, well, I could sell more to my existing customers. Interesting. I can maybe increase my price so I can make more money. Interesting. Maybe I could also do a joint venture with someone where I only pay them on a performance basis. So if they bring in more sales, then I pay them. It doesn't add any more expense to what I do. That's interesting. Maybe I could also, instead of selling something one time, I can sell it in some kind of continuity. That's so my customers are paying me on an ongoing basis. Maybe some kind of membership. That's interesting. You see, that's thinking. It's not just, how can I make more money? You see, it's a very low level. When you take the time to think, that's how you grow. That's actually how you actually think and grow rich. This is very deep. So ponder on that. But if you get this one thing, this one skill, this is what makes you successful. That's the difference between the poor and the rich. 7 things poor people do that the rich don't. Number 1, poor people watch TV and rich people read books. How many hours you spend in front of the TV, and when was the last time you read a book? How many books do you read per year? Number 2, poor people get paid based on time. Rich people get paid based on results. Let's say you're working at McDonald's. You may be the best floor cleaner on the planet ever, but what value do you bring to McDonald's? Rich people, we get paid based on results, not time invested. Let's say we're working on a product. We spend a year perfecting the product. We bring it to the marketplace and it sucks. It bombs. It doesn't make us a dime. The world doesn't give a f. We don't make money. Nobody cares how much time, blood, sweat, and tears we put into creating a product and bring it to the marketplace. How much risk that we take. They don't care. What they care is results. That's why the highest paid athletes in the world, they don't get paid by how many hours they practice, how many times they invested. No, it is how much they perform. They get paid based on performance. Number 3, poor people, they blame others for their misfortunes. Rich people, we take responsibility for our own failures. You see, for poor people, it's always somebody else's fault. It's the economy, it's the government, it's my boss, it's my job, it's my city, it's my neighbor, it's my friends. It's always somebody else. It's never their own fault. Rich people, we take responsibility. If your life stinks, it's your fault. We take responsibility for our own action. When you take responsibility, what happens is you gain power. The power to change, the power to do something different. Remember, lame people blame people. Number 4, poor people focus on saving and rich people focus on investing. You know what? Don't drink that Starbucks coffee in the morning. Try to save a few dollars and here and there. Well, don't fly first class, fly economy. Always try to save a few dollars. Well, here's the thing. A penny saved is still a penny. You're not gonna get rich by trying to save a few bucks. You don't have a saving problem, you have an income problem. You need to earn a lot more money so you could invest. Number 5, poor people, they know it all. Rich people continuously to learn. You see, poor people are always very opinionated. They always want to tell the world about their opinions, about politics, about sports, about the society, about the government, about every single thing that's around them, versus being humble, willing to learn. Rich people, we're always learning. We're asking questions. We are listening. We are reading books. Continuous learning. Versus saying that I've got an opinion about everything. You know why they always have an opinion, poor people? Because the only way to get a little bit of attention. No different. I can see people, they're watching my video, watching my sales video, closing video, and I just look at that and I laugh. And they comment, oh Dan, you shouldn't close this way, you should close that way, you should say this. When was the last time you closed something? Show me. When was the last time you closed something for $500? $1,000, $2,000, $5,000, $10,000, $100,000. What the have you done? So your opinion doesn't count. Remember, your income can only grow to the extent that you do. Your wealth can only grow as fast as you do. Number 6, poor people believe that money is the root of all evil. Rich people, we believe that poverty is the root of all evil. You've heard of the saying, money is the root of all evil. No, lack of money is the root of all evil. I want you to look at the poorest neighborhoods. I want you to think about those areas. Crime, drug, problems, all kinds of issues. You see, in the history of mankind, no bank's been robbed by someone pulling up in a Rolls Royce. It is the survival, it's the lack of money that's causing the issue. Money itself is neutral. Money is like a tool. You can use it for good or you can use it for evil. It is all up to you. Number 7, poor people, they have lottery mentality, and rich people, we have action mentality. You see, most people, they believe the only way to get rich is buying that lottery ticket. Even though they know that the chance of winning is slim to none, but they buy that fantasy. Hopefully, if I win, I'm gonna buy that house. I'm gonna quit that job. I'm gonna take that vacation. No, rich people have an action mentality. We believe if it's going to be, it is up to me. I'm gonna make it happen. I'm gonna make myself successful. So I was knocking on door and no one, like I was knocking, hey, do you want me to mow your lawn? Oh, no, we don't need that. We don't need that. Yeah. At the time, my mom had a friend, my aunt. She had a printing business, right? Like, printing business card and flyers and all that. So I went to my aunt and said, hey, aunt, why don't, you print a bunch of flyers? I will help you distribute in the neighborhood, like printing service. But yeah, there are two sides to a flyer, right? Right? I said, you print 5,000 of these, I'll run around, I'll distribute it. On the other side, can I put my stuff on it? Right?
Yeah, my lawn mowing services,
It's just like, oh, what right?
Yeah.
And so I've been always very entrepreneurial.
Yeah, you know how to, be resourceful in the situation.
Win-win, right?
Yeah. Because a lot of people wouldn't have even tried that because they'll say, well, I don't have the money for a lawnmower, I don't have any of that. So
that stops them, right?
Yeah, it's a good proof right there that it's not about what you have, it's about what you do with what you have.
100%.
And you were exuding that even at a young age.
It's never lack of resources, I think it's a lack of resourcefulness, right? And I was just resourceful, I had no money. So I had time, I can put in effort, and I distribute all 500 flyers, I ran home, and I was just waiting for the phone. I thought, I'm gonna get rich.
Yeah.
I thought, oh my God, 5,000 people? Oh my God, I'm gonna get 100 phone calls? Oh, I'm gonna block my time, I'm still going to school. I thought I'm gonna make like thousands of dollars, right?
Right.
1 hour, no call. 1 day, no call. 3 days, not a single one. I was checking the flight. Did I put in the wrong number?
Right.
No, it's the right number, right? Not a single phone call from the flyer,
Wow.
right? And I learned, okay, there's something that you can have a great product, a great service, but if you don't know how to get it out there, do marketing and get people to pay attention, no one's gonna buy from you. So I came with an idea. I thought to myself, and this affected my philosophy for the rest of my life, my business philosophy. So I think back, the very first client I had who paid me $20. What did I do? I mowed the lawn first before asking anything in return. That's how I got that first $20, right?
Right, yeah.
I thought, let me do that again. So I ran around the neighborhood and I found probably one of the higher end expensive homes in the neighborhood. And I saw the lawn was like up to this high, like high. And I just found a day and I just mowed the entire thing. Now this is illegal.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to do that. I'm not an advocate of that, but I did that.
So you didn't even knock on their door? You
No, I just mowed the whole lawn, right? I did the whole thing.
Right.
And I finished the whole thing and I sat at the front door waiting for the homeowner to come back. Okay, it's funny, it's a housewife. She came back and she couldn't recognize her lawn because it's this lawn.
Right, yeah.
She drove by and then she drove back and she pulled, what the hell is going on, right?
Right.
And she's like, who are you? I said, I'm just a kid. I'm trying to make some money. I provide these services, I fly. Oh, this is awesome. My husband travels all the time. He's never home. I can't do this stuff. Thank you so much. You make my lawn look so nice. She gave me $100.
Wow.
$100, right? And that affected me for the rest of my life. So my business philosophy until this very day, if you say one of my motto for business, add value first before you ask anything in return. That's how I always approach. You know how most business people, they approach somebody, they want to sell them some right? Or they want to, hey man, you do something for me, or like, on social media, people come to me all the time, or they feel like just because I'm successful, that I'm obligated to help them.
Right, you can so easily will just give them handouts.
That's not the case. They got to earn it. So my philosophy is any interaction with people, how can I add value to what you do? It's always my most favorite question is this: what is the most important project you're working on that I can add value to?
Why great ideas alone are not enough? Why great ideas alone are not enough to change our lives? You see, one of the great mistakes that most people make is they're attempting to change their body, they're attempting to change their relationship, they're attempting to change their income, their finance, they're attempting to change something outside of themselves instead of changing something that's inside with themselves. Some people see themselves as conservative and safe. Are they going to do anything crazy? Are they going to go bungee jumping or skydiving? No, unless you're drunk or something like that. So you're not going to do anything crazy or act nuts unless you're drunk. Now, you might say it's the alcohol, but really it's just you finally getting permission to be yourself. The alcohol is just an excuse. If you are playful, if you're fun, if you're outrageous, you're going to talk differently, you're going to move differently, you're going to dress differently. Maybe in a red suit. And you're going to do things differently. And there's no right or wrong, but most of us have trapped ourselves in an old self-image and never really update who we are today. So then when you go and learn a new skill, when you go learn a new ability, a new idea, but we're stuck in this self-image, this is who I am, and that's why we never surpass it. Let me give you a metaphor. This will make sense for you. Let's say in this room that we set the thermostat at 70 degrees. Let's say that 70 degrees is a metaphor. It's a what? Metaphor for your comfort zone, which is also known as your self-image, your comfort zone. And most people have goals that are larger, they are more than their self-image. And that's why most people don't get to their goals unless they alter or expand their self-image. So 70 degrees is your comfort zone. 70 degrees is your body. Not your goal, not where you want to be eventually, but what you're comfortable with. 70 degrees is the amount of love and passion and connection you have in your personal intimate relationship. Again, not your goal, but what you live with regularly. 70 degrees is the amount of money that you need to make to be comfortable. Not your goal, what you're comfortable with. Let's say the temperature drops to 65 degrees. Now what happens is your brain goes, hey, I'm a 70 degreer, not a 65. The heater's kicked on, you feel there's a drive and there's this urge and you want to do something about it. By show of hand, how many of you ever experienced part of life, maybe your body, maybe your income, maybe your relationship, where it dropped and you felt it's not good enough and you felt this incredible drive to do something about it, yeah? Put that way up and say, oh yeah. Oh yeah. And from there, and you try something and it doesn't work, and you try something else and it doesn't work, and you try something else and it doesn't work. Now, after a while, nobody wants to be a disappointment. No one wants to feel like a failure in their lives. So what some people do is they lower the thermostats. They lower their expectations. They make their goals smaller, more realistic, more reasonable. Don't get your hopes up or you'll be disappointed. Well, maybe not. I'm not a 70 degreer. Maybe I'm a 65 degreer. Look at those 70-degree people. So arrogant. So full of themselves. They're probably workaholics anyway. I'm being smart. I'm cutting back. I'm downsizing. I don't want to burn myself out. I want to have more balance in my life. Now, before you know it, they're at 62. Then they're at 58. Now, by the way, when they're at 58, do they hang around with 70-degree people? No! They hang around with 50-degree people. So they feel better about themselves on a regular basis. Why do you think people watch reality TV? You know what? I thought my life is a mess. But look at these people on TV. Instantly, you feel better about yourself. Now, but you're at TEDx, obviously. You're not like that. You're an overachiever, yes? You're an overachiever. So when it's supposed to be at 70 degrees, you're at 65, what do? You do something about it, yes? You don't settle. You try it, you try something else, it doesn't work. You try something else, it doesn't work. You try something else, it doesn't work. You don't settle. You don't give up and you don't give in. If you hit a wall, you go around it, you go over it, you go under it, whatever it takes, you do it. And do you stop at 70 degrees? No. You keep going until you hit 80. 85, 90, 91, 92, 93, 99 degree, and your brain goes, hey, what do you think you're doing up here? You're not a 90 degreer. Who do you think you are? Get back to where you were. And suddenly you realize you're outside of your comfort zone. And then the heater stops and you lose your drive. And you begin to self-sabotage yourself. And you stop doing what got you there in the first place, and you start doing some dumb things, making some dumb decisions, until you get back to exactly where you think you deserve to be. Now, how many of you, I'm sure none of you have done this, but how many of you have seen other people sabotage themselves? Yeah, I thought so. You see, the strongest force in human personality is the need to remain consistent with how we see ourselves. The strongest force in human personality is the need to remain consistent with how we see ourselves. So the image that we hold of ourselves controls our successes and our failures, and also impacts every single area of our life. Let's say you have a self-image of someone who's overweight, and you don't want to talk about it, and you don't want anyone else to talk about it either. But until one day you just, you know what? I'm gonna make a change. I'm gonna do something. I want to lose weight because I'm tired of being single. It's always good to have that extra motivation. And you go on a diet, and you go join a gym. Not that you'll go, but you join a gym. And you go on a diet, and what happens? You start to lose weight. Why? Because you're starving yourself. You don't eat anything white, you don't eat anything sweet, no more chocolate, no more candy, no more French fries, no more soda, because you believe they make you fat. But that's not what makes you fat. It's your self-image that makes you fat. You see, when a person who's overweight goes on a diet without altering their self-image, any weight loss will be temporary. That's why you see people gain and lose a ton in their lifetime. Look at Oprah. See, whatever you lose, you're automatically programmed to find whatever that is lost. When you step on the scale, when you start to lose weight, you look at the scale, that's not really me. Not consciously, but subconsciously. That's not who I am. I don't deserve this. And then, bam, you put the weight right back on. Now, everybody go ahead, touch your chin. Just go ahead, touch your chin. Everybody say, isn't that interesting? We become self-prisoners of our own self-image. Maybe you're thinking, well, I need to do something I'm passionate about. Well, it's nice that you're passionate about something, but that is not enough. Because the marketplace doesn't care what you're passionate about. The marketplace is very, very selfish. They care what you can do for them. So in order to make $1 million, here's my first tip for you. Instead of chasing money doesn't get you money. Money doesn't go to the people who desperately need it or desperately want it. Money goes to people who can add value to the marketplace. It goes to the people who knows how to multiply it. So instead of chasing money, here's what I want you to do. Chase needs. That's right. In order to make $1 million, you need to serve a need in the marketplace, or you need to solve a problem in the marketplace for customers, for the consumer, for people. You got to put people first. So to make $1 million, there are actually only two paths. Either it's volume or it's transaction size. Volume and transaction size. Now, what do I mean by that? So if you sell something in terms of volume, you sell something for $1, you serve 1 million people, guess what? You got your $1 million. I would challenge you to think about this. Anyone that's making millions of dollars, either they are serving a huge amount of people, meaning they are selling or serving or impacting millions. Or you look at Apple, guess what? Billions and billions of dollars, they serve billions and billions of people. Look at Facebook, look at Google. Billions and billions of dollars, billions and billions of users. So if it's not volume, then it's transaction size. Meaning you sell something for millions of dollars. Let's say a real estate developer selling a unit for millions and millions of dollars. Well, you sell one unit, you make millions of dollars. It's one of those two, or something in between. You sell something for $10,000, $20,000. You sell a few hundred of those, you get your $1 million. It's that simple. Doesn't matter what business model you use. It's either you're playing the volume game, which you want to scale, you want to serve and impact millions, or you're playing the transaction size game where you sell something at a high ticket, which is what I teach, and you work with fewer clients, serve a smaller group of people, but at a higher level, at a higher quality, you can also get your millions of dollars. See, you're not going to get your millions of dollars just hoping that, I want millions of dollars, I want my $1 million. Nobody cares. You can sit at home, you can play in front of a computer, you can meditate, whatever you do, you're not going to get that $1 million fall on your lap. That's not how the marketplace works. But if you can find a way to serve a need in the marketplace and to solve people's problem, either through a huge amount of volume, impacting millions, or in a very profound way, such as real estate, or insurance, or whatever it is, or automobile, it doesn't matter what it is, but you gotta sell something. Nothing happens unless a sale is made. Nothing happens in life and in business until you make a sale. And that's how it works. You are broke. Why are you broke? Have you ever asked yourself that question? And how do you never be broke again? I was broke when I was a teenager. When I came to Canada with nothing, no money, I was in debt, $150,000 in debt. I was so frustrated. I tried so many different things. I started and failed at 13 businesses. 13, not 3, not 10, 13 businesses. All disaster. Not only did I make money from the businesses, I was in debt. Lost all my mom's money. Borrowed from friends and family. And I didn't know why. I wanted to succeed so bad, but I just couldn't make it work. Until one thing
until I had an epiphany. What is that epiphany? You don't have a money problem, you have a skill problem. If you try to solve your money problem with just money, your problem doesn't get solved. Money problem is not solved by money. Money problem is solved by your intelligence and your skill set, your mindset and your skill set. Now, what am I talking about your skill set? I want you to think about some of the highest paid people in the society. Let's say doctor, let's say attorney, let's say lawyer, let's say accountant, engineer, who is making a decent high income. What do they have? They have specialized skill sets that you may not have. See, the people with low income skills in our society, low income jobs, chances are their skills, now that doesn't mean they don't work hard. It doesn't mean they don't hustle. It doesn't mean they don't work long hours. But the skill sets they have, that they offer to the marketplace, to society, people, companies, they are not willing to pay big money for. I call them low income skills. That's the problem. You try to make big money with low income skills. You need to develop your high income skills in order to make more money. So if you're struggling in life, you're struggling in business, I can guarantee you the biggest issue, how I've overcome, how I was struggling, how I overcome not want to be broke again, is I learned to close. I learned to communicate ideas, thoughts, concepts. When you learn to close, you'll never be broke again. Because in business, nothing happens until something is sold. In life, nothing happens until something is sold. You're single, you're not a good closer. You can't close. You're not getting people to do what you want. They're not following your leadership. You can't close. You're not getting sales because you're a lousy closer. You can't close. When you can close, you can move, you can influence, you can persuade people. Everything that you want in life, guess what? Other people already have them. I don't care what it is that you want. Resources, money, capital, influence, relationships. Whatever it is that you want, you gotta close someone else to give it to you. So if you're struggling financially, it means you're a lousy closer. It is that simple. That's the downside. Upside is this. Once you know how to close, you will know how to create income on demand. You will know how to make money. You have the ability to make money anytime you want. That's the power of closing. That's how you never go broke again. So if you are not making the money you want, it's not a money problem, it's a skill problem. Solve your skill problem. Develop a particular skill set. And then when you combine your skill set with the mindset. Now, what am I talking about when it comes to mindset? Mindset, I'm talking about your belief, your ideas, your attitude towards something. If you combine a strong, a proper, abundant mindset with a strong, high income skill set, boom, you'll never be broke again. But you cannot maximize your skill set without a proper mindset. I'll say that one more time. You cannot maximize your skill set without a proper mindset. You need to have the two. If you have the two, you'll never go broke again. I want you to be absolutely, brutally honest with yourself. If you're struggling financially, what kind of skills do you have? Probably none. Except the skill of probably none. What value you bring to the marketplace? If you are not where you want to be, you're not growing as fast as you want to be, you're not increasing your income as fast as you want to be, your income can only grow to the extent that you do. I tried most things like most people. I read the success books and going to
Think and
seminars
Grow Rich.
and Think and Grow Rich and How to Win Friends and Influence People,
Right, yeah.
right? You know, back and forth many times. Like all these books, and I would get up in the morning and I would look in the mirror and say, I'm successful and it's gonna be a great day.
Affirmation,
and I would visualize. I did all this
Meditate,
shit.
law of attraction,
Meditate and put vision board. I did all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
So, yes, all
Right.
this stuff, right? So it was okay. I think all those things they help, but really the turning point was when I found my first mentor. His name is Alan. Alan. And at the time, Alan he ran one of he was the founder of a Ring real estate investment network in Canada, which was at the time one of the largest real estate investment network in Canada. And
How did you find him?
good question.
Because I want to ask you that, because there might be somebody listening to this or watching this that might be on their 12th or 13th failure,
Yeah.
right at that turning point. So to somebody sitting there and kind of confused, how did you find your mentor, and what would be your recommendation?
I'll tell you how I found my mentor, and I'll give them the advice of where to find. So at the time, I was just like an opportunity junkie.
Right.
I had no money, so I would attend these like free seminars, and I would get on these like mailing lists, right?
Right.
And Alan was running one of the largest financial seminar companies in Canada. He was the first one that brought Robert Kiyosaki to Canada.
From Rich Dad Poor Dad, Robert
first guy.
Kiyosaki.
Before even Kiyosaki was famous. He was the first guy. So I was getting all these junk mails, direct mail, like not Instagram, not Facebook,
Right.
direct mail, right?
Yeah.
And I would always be fascinated by the way that he would write these sales letters.
Right.
And I would collect them. I would collect them, put in 3-0 punch them, put them in a binder, and I would save them and I would study them. I was just fascinated by the way he communicates, right?
So the copywriting on
Copywriting.
it.
And I remember the name Alan Jacks, right? That's his name. And at one time I was attending a free conference. I was sitting in the back, and I was watching the speaker. A gentleman sat down next to me and was watching the speaker, was looking at you. I was like, I noticed a name tag.
Yeah.
It says Alan Jacks.
Wow.
And I thought, no way.
Yeah.
No way. And I said, are you Alan Jacks? He said, yes. I said, are you the one that's hosting these events and writing these letters? And it's like, yes. He said, I am. I'm like, holy right? Holy that's my internal dialogue. I try to be calm.
Right.
I said, I'm a huge fan.
Yeah.
Like, I love what you do. And he thought I was referring to the event. I was like, yeah, we do pretty good events. I said, no. I study your letters.
Yeah.
I said, I collect them. I tell them I collect these letters. And he was shocked because I don't think he's ever had anyone telling him that.
Right.
Like a young guy, 20-someone, 21 years old, like talking
Fanning
about
out on
marketing.
the copywriting.
Yeah, like collecting the junk mail. And I was just fascinated. I said, Mr. Jacks, I said, can I buy you lunch? And I always remember the reply. He paused. He said, what? I gotta eat.
Yeah.
That was the start of a relationship.
Wow.
And we had lunch, we talked for hours. And then afterwards, I asked him to be my mentor, which he turned me down. And I was, again, not recommending this. I was basically stalking him in his office. Right? I went to his office every day.
So you would physically go there?
I would go to the office, I would say anything, I would pick up the trash, anything.
Yeah.
I would just demonstrating, I want to help, anything.
Yeah.
I don't care about money, I don't want a salary, I don't want anything. And finally a month later, they said, okay, I just need to hire you, just so this is bothering me so much, right? He's bothering my staff. Fine, like this young man is like crazy, right? And he did. And I worked for him for almost for a year, for next to nothing.
Wow.
And I was, funny story. So we were doing a lot of direct mail, right? So we stuffed these envelopes, and I would help stuff the envelopes. And the envelope, the stamps, and I would lick the envelope,
Right.
and I would after about 2 weeks of that, he said, Dan, you can actually use water for that. I was so dumb, I was getting poisoned, like licking 500 envelopes like that and put the whole thing in. But that's how I got started.
Right.
That's like how naive I was. I was just hungry. But when it comes to reading, I read a book. Sometimes if I'm looking for any book that I read, I have a simple question. I want to get what are the 3 ideas that I can get from the book that I can implement right now? Just 3. Not 10, not 20, not 100, 3 ideas. If I could get those 3 ideas from the first 3 chapters, I will highlight those, I will take those, and I'll put the book away. One of the most powerful tool, one of the most powerful mindset you need to have in life and business is clarity. And clarity is power. Clarity is power. And what is power? The power is the ability to take action. So if the more you read, the more confused that you get, it gives you less clarity. It means it takes away from your power. If more reading gives you more clarity and gives you more ability to act, that's good. That's powerful, right? That's on the right track. So there's a big difference between information and knowledge to wisdom. Let me explain. This would give you a lot of clarity. Information is just facts, data, numbers, figures, theories, principles. That's just information. There's a lot of information on the internet. There's a lot of information on YouTube. There's a lot of information on Google. There's a lot of information, but information itself does not help you. It does not make you richer. It does not make you happier. It does not make you healthier. It does not make you smarter. Information is just information. It's like when you go to school, right? You're going to class, your textbook. There's a lot of information in the textbook, right? That's the first stage. Once you gather enough information, now you're accumulating what I call knowledge. So you get a lot of information, and you now learn about the distinctions. Now you take that information, you apply it, or maybe you take that information and you take a test. That's knowledge. After the test, you know after the exam in school, oh, that works, or oh no, that was the wrong answer, or I didn't pass the exam, or here are the mistakes that I got wrong. Well, you're learning from it, right? That's accumulating your knowledge. So a lot of people, they read books to acquire information. You watch video to acquire information, and you wonder, how come I'm watching a lot of videos, I'm learning, but my life is still the same? Because you haven't converted information to knowledge, and from knowledge into experience. Now, how do you convert knowledge into experience? So now you acquire some knowledge, you got to implement. And the only way you get experience is you a lot, right? You make the mistakes. You see if this stuff works, right? Now you're getting experience. You're seeing a pattern of things. Goes back to the school example. Now you take enough exams. Remember the class you take from like grade 9, 10, 11, 12, right? Now you take enough exams, studying the same subject for many years in a row. Now you see a pattern. Okay, I'm accumulating more things. I'm getting more experience of what works and what doesn't. Now experience, that's much more valuable. It's more valuable than knowledge, and knowledge is more valuable than information. So books itself is just information. Information does not change your life. Information doesn't change your life. You got to convert it by gathering, filter into knowledge. From knowledge, now you implement. Now you get to the next step, which is experience. Then from experience, from now you have done it long enough, a long period of time, now is evolve into wisdom. A lot of people are smart, but they're not wise. Wisdom is something completely different, okay? Wisdom is knowing what not to do. Wisdom is knowing when you don't have to do something. So let's say in enough experience, you know what? This is how I'm going to make this work. These are 20 things that I could do. My experience tells me these are the 20 things I could do to make me successful. Wisdom is knowing, okay, 19 of these is just do this one. That is the difference. Knowledge is about accumulation. Wisdom is about elimination. Sleep on that. Wisdom is about elimination. It is about simplicity. It's not about daily increase, it's about daily decrease. But you cannot get to wisdom without knowledge. You cannot get to wisdom without experience. You have to go through all of that. Now you can simplify everything that you do. And there are only few things that you need to do to get you the results. You don't need to do 100 things. You can do a couple of things and you do it well, and that's wisdom. And most people, they're smart, but they're not wise. And you can tell. You can tell from the way that they share, the way that they communicate, there's not a lot of depth. Where they speak from, the place they speak from, it lacks a lot of depth. But when you're talking to a wise man, you see, wow, that makes a lot of sense. Whatever he's speaking about, it makes a lot of sense. There's depth behind those words. That's wisdom. That's what I'm talking about. So I don't read books, I use books. It's all about taking ideas, taking information, convert it into knowledge, and as soon as I convert into knowledge, I want it to turn into an experience, and then I want to filter through my years of experience and then condense that into wisdom that I have, that what works for me. What works for me may not work for you. My wisdom is different from yours, but this is what works for me. So there are many stages learning. It's not so much, oh, what books should I read then, or what's the best way to learn, or all this stuff. You see, it's a very surface level question. You need to go deeper than that. You need to go deeper than that. You need to go beyond and just watching videos to now taking the information, what I'm teaching you, implementing it, go out there in the real world, apply it, and see what works. What works for you, what doesn't work for you. You gotta go, you can read about how to swim until you are in the swimming pool, right? Until you swim, you learn, and now you can swim back and forth many laps, and then now you're swimming in the lake, right? That's experience. Now when you have wisdom, you go swim in the ocean, but you also know better not go that area, there are sharks there, right? That's wisdom. Hi, this is Dan Lok. If you're a fan of Evan's work, if you want to know exactly how to model my success, I want to invite you to join me for a special online training. All you have to do is click on the link below. You can join me for absolutely no charge. So click on the link below and I will see you in class.
If you want another amazing Dan Lok video, check it out right there next to me. I think you'll love it. Continue to believe, and I'll see you there.
If you want to accelerate your growth, the first thing that you want to do is change who you spend time with.
Most of the people in our lives, they're takers.
My attorney, that poor guy is an A student, but he knows jack about outside of that.